Welcome to the Comm 101 instructional video on how to do IA interviews well. In this video, we'll be going over 4 scenes that represent different instances that you might find within an interview and the different things that you should be focusing on within them. The first of these will be the introductions.
Hi, are you Hannah?
Yeah, are you Katie?
Yes, so very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Did you find the office okay?
Yeah, no problem. I'm used to that side of the comm building, so it took a little bit longer to find this one, but no problem.
Oh, that's so good to hear. How's your day going?
Okay, yeah, busy but good. I'm excited to be here and do this.
Oh, we're excited to have you. I see that you had Spencer as an IA.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy him? Was he?
I did. It was a really fun small group. We all became really good friends, and he made it fun, even though it was really early in the morning. So it was a good experience.
I definitely can relate to that, especially waking up so early and having to deliver a speech right away.
Yeah.
Also, what was your favorite speech from the program?
It was definitely the individual informative. I really loved the topic, and it was low pressure since it was just our small group instead of the big room for the persuasive. So it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a whole lot less pressure, huh? And then you get to just start using visual aids, and
Yeah,
it's a fun
definitely.
process. So before we begin, here's a couple expectations that you can expect from me. So don't worry if I'm writing down a couple of your answers. It's just for me to reflect on later. And if you feel as though you're rushing to answer a question, just take a moment to reflect, as we're in no rush here. And before we begin, do you have any questions for me?
I'm okay.
Okay, sounds good. Let's begin.
In this section, we saw Katie, the interviewer, focus on trying to get to know Hannah better so that they can build that connection and the interview afterwards can be more comfortable, more like a conversation rather than an interrogation. Our second scene will be an example of looking over the candidate's application with them, picking out a couple key points that you think are either just straight up cool or that don't maybe answer the question well enough, and so you want to give them an opportunity to fully answer the question or elaborate on some point.
So I was looking over your application, and a couple points stood out to me. I saw that you were a leader at Camp Kirby last summer. So I used to go to Camp Kirby when I was a little kid.
Oh, really?
It brought back so many memories when I was reviewing that.
Yeah, definitely. It's an awesome camp.
For sure. And I also noticed that you had on your application that you wanted to inspire future students to become an IA. What inspired you to become an IA?
Right. When I took Comm 101, I forced myself to take this class. I came into it thinking, okay, I'm going to get through this class, just get through it, get it over with, hopefully learn a little bit from it, but it helped me so much. It took my speaking ability from not able to have conversations with more than a couple of people listening to me to being able to speak in front of others and really communicate my thoughts. And it reduced my anxiety, and it's affected so many other aspects of my college life and just really improved my college life. And I think that they're skills that are very important, but I want other students to have this experience as well.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Here we saw Katie continuing to build that familiarity from before, just trying to get to know Hannah better, as well as actually find out a little bit more about them, find out some follow-up that we wouldn't have just from the application alone. Now we'll look at an example of the main part of the interview, where Katie will be asking Hannah a question, she'll respond, and then Katie is staying engaged but writing down a complete answer, and then looking for ways to follow up that answer into a new question.
So in your application, you discussed a leadership role at Camp Kirby. What was the biggest challenge of that position?
I really struggled with getting the campers to be enthusiastic and interested in what we were doing, because it is a theater camp and the age ranges, but a lot of them are at the age where their parents can still force them to go to summer camp. So a lot of them aren't comfortable yet, and we do a lot of silly activities to get them comfortable, and the biggest challenge for me is to get them motivated to participate and really just have fun.
Don't be afraid to take a couple seconds to write down the complete idea of their answer and then look for the follow-up.
So that's interesting, because it actually leads into my next question. How would you encourage the group of students to demonstrate interest so it can increase a student's confidence?
Notice here that Katie stayed very engaged with Hannah the entire time while continuing to write down notes, and she found a way to follow up to the answer. This shows that you're very engaged, again, with the interviewee, as well as you are able to connect it in and just find out more about them in general. Now, do remember that this is not going to be the case to every one of their answers. Maybe it just doesn't make sense all the time to have a follow-up question. But keep in mind, if you have something you want to say, it's okay to go off the script a little bit. Now, our last scene is going to be looking at the conclusion of the interview, the expectations that are laid out by us, the interviewers, and then any wrap-ups and what the interviewer can expect from us in the coming weeks.
All right, fantastic. So now we will be going over the duties you'll have as an IA. First, you'll need to attend a meeting once a week for 2 hours on Mondays from 4 to 6. This is where you'll be learning about what it means to be an IA with your fellow IAs. And then you'll need to attend a weekly office hour with your partner. As a first timer, you get a partner. And you'll need to attend your small group 3 days a week, which is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And you will need to spend time grading speeches and evaluating the students' written work. And make sure that you'll be available to your students, whether that's in your office hours or through emails. And do you have any further questions for me? Oh, by the way, you get 3 upper division credits through being an IA.
Okay. About the grading,
Sure.
so I know that there's a lot of work that goes into keeping up with that. How do you personally and other IAs balance the IA workload and then your normal course workload?
Okay, so it's a bit challenging, I would say, initially. It's not stressful, it's just a large amount of work, grading the speeches. However, you do have a partner that will help you in assisting the grading. And once you start getting used to giving feedback to your students, I find the work gets a little bit easier, as well as you have the IA office and your fellow IAs to help assist you through the whole process of grading. And it just really becomes really rewarding in the end to see how your students grow, as probably what you saw when you were a leader at Camp Kirby. And so if you have any other additional questions, feel free to email me or Jennifer, and you'll be hearing from her within a week. And thanks for coming in.
Thank you so
Have a good
much.
day.
You too.
See you later.
Bye.
So the main things that we saw in this video was, first off, the connection that the interviewer is trying to build with the interviewee. This is good for a number of reasons. It helps to build that familiarity. It helps the interviewee feel more comfortable in the setting that might otherwise be very nerve-wracking. And then you can get to know the real person much better. We saw Katie be very physically engaged, eye contact all the time, as well as nodding and appreciating what they are saying, looking for ways that she could follow up and find different interesting points within what Hannah was saying, as well as make the time to write down the full ideas on paper so that Jennifer would have a good idea of what went down in the interview. The main point of this interview is to try to get to know the person better, to get an idea of their strengths and weaknesses, and the best way you, the interviewer, can do that is to take a genuine interest in what they're saying and really try to connect with them.